Had some community CRA is called to order here. You should have had some minutes on your table in front of you. We have
Move the approval.
well, we have three action items. Number one, move to approve it. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right.
Mike.
Who moved to approve?
Councilman DeSorbo.
Okay, and Deputy Mayor, you seconded. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. All right. Item number 2, sidewalk reconstruction and accessibility ramp construction and funding. The recommendation is that the Community Redevelopment Agency authorize funding in the amount of $118,015 plus a 10% contingency for the reconstruction of sidewalks, installation of accessibility ramps within the Community Redevelopment area.
Move the approval.
Second.
Okay. You have any comments, Mr. Cohen, in reference to this?
No.
No? Any comments from the CRA members? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Any opposed? Forgive me for not giving anyone any audience. Do you have any comments or anything from the audience, even though we voted? It's late in the hour. Apologize. Item number 3, Palafox Place in South Baylen Street, two-way traffic. Recommendation that the Community Redevelopment Agency approve a service authorization with Volkert Construction Service, Inc. for $20,705 plus a 10% contingency to prepare construction, documentation, and permit application for the conversion of Palafox Place in South Baylen Street to two-way traffic, and further recommend that the City Council approve the concept of this conversion. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second. I have a motion and a second. Discussion. Okay. First, Mr. Cohen, do you want to?
Yes, Madam Chair, we have a presentation to provide.
Okay.
Good evening. We'll try to go through this quickly. Next time we need to be first, Madam Chair. We're going to have to work on that. The Community Redevelopment Agency, what you see here is our partnership with the City Public Works Department and the Downtown DIB through their Parking Management District, and also with Berkeley Engineering to talk in terms of the two-way of Palafox. What we're going to do is talk in terms of the fact that this is going to advance the downtown retail strategy. We'll talk in terms of what the actual two-way conversion will be as far as phasing is concerned. That had been brought up by members of the board previously. We have Volkert here to show you the traffic modeling as to how we'll make improvements along Garden, which affects our ability to two-way Palafox as well as Baylen. Public Works with Lee Smith will talk in terms of the implementation strategy that his group will go through in order to put the plan forward. And then Kim Kimbrough is here to talk in terms of how the communication strategy is already moving forward to inform the merchants of how we will handle the loading zones. As you know, the two-way conversion phase is a continuation of the retail strategy. It's going to be broken into 3 phases. The first phase has been the signalization of the intersections along Palafox Place. They were converted to 4-way stops. That's been relatively successful at this point in being able to slow traffic as part of our ongoing methodology. The phase 2, which was South Palafox between Government and Main Street, the restriping, as you know, is in place. The two-way is already in place, and today we were also putting down the stamped concrete in order to delineate what was taking place with the sidewalks and the crossings in those areas. So those pieces have already been completed, and we believe that's been fairly successful. The next phase then is to take Palafox Place and South Baylen between Garden and Government to restripe those, resign them, and convert those to two-way traffic. One of the issues that was brought up in our last presentation is the fact that how is it that we're going to be able to handle the actual traffic modeling and how it is that we can show. It was Councilman Wu who asked us, did we have someone on board to be able to identify how we're going to handle the turning moments? And with that, I'd like Mr. Brown to be able to kind of walk us through what is going to take place at those various intersections.
Thank you, Thaddeus. This is a a modeling of the traffic on Garden Street, Palafox Place, and Baylen Street. What we did is we went out and collected data of what's going on out there now, and then projected the traffic for the future. You can see the changes on Baylen Street. Instead of having 3 lanes at the intersection of Baylen and Garden Street, we're converted to 2. Palafox Place, instead of having 2 lanes southbound, will have 1 lane northbound. Our recommendation to the department was to make this a right turn only, to keep the level of service at this intersection at acceptable levels. The big thing that we see at this intersection is a very heavy left turn movement from Garden Street to Palafox, and then the traffic is going up to I-110. And what we're looking at recommending is dropping back on Garden Street to the west and adding signs to 110, encouraging people to find an alternate route instead of coming up and plugging up this intersection with left turn traffic. This left turn lane needs to be extended, and then creating a left turn lane here so that people can come from Palafox and turn left on Baylen Street and go south.
With that, how was I get back to? I'm on right here.
Was there a reason you couldn't go straight on Palafox? You had to take a right on Garden?
Yeah, going straight right now is going to be, in essence, a Phase 3B, in essence. And as we walk through the implementation, we'll be able to answer the question as to why the through movement.
So we will be able to go north in the future.
In the future, right. This is, yes, that's what I said. It's actually Phase 3, but it's actually Phase 3A at this point. With that, I'd like to talk in terms of, again, our partnership with Public Works. Lee Smith will talk in terms of what the implementation strategies are, being able to go forward with the conversions. We're looking at downtown parking management, public awareness campaign, what will take place between South Baylen and government, Palafox modifications, and the post-conversion assessments.
Thank you, Thaddeus. Once the permit is approved by FDOT, we'll be able to proceed here. This is just the logical steps. This is our plan. We'll tackle Baylen Street first, extending the left turn lane at Garden and Baylen eastbound. Then we'll have to add a signal head for the southbound movement, and just logically go back through and restripe and re-sign Baylen Street for two-way traffic, add the left turn lane westbound, modify the signal at Baylen and Garden Street, and then two things to note here. Currently, there is no signal infrastructure, no pole at Government and Baylen Street, so we'll have to add that infrastructure there. In addition, there, once all these things have been inspected and that sort of thing, we'll be able to switch Baylen to two-way traffic. And at Garden and Palafox, it's a little bit more complex as far as adding a mast arm at Garden and Palafox there, restriping and resigning Palafox for two-way traffic. Keep in mind, we'll be doing all this work, during business hours with little impact on traffic during the day. The actual striping will be done off hours to make the actual transition. Next slide. Then, as Fred mentioned before, one of the key components of this is to try to modify driver behavior to get traffic to take different routes to I-110 instead of just the more predominant route of Palafox and Garden Street, using Baylen Street, Jefferson Street, Tarragona, those other three areas, or other three intersections they could use. One supplemental thing is we'll be doing an improvement as part of this project to delete the supplemental signals at Baylen Street and Jefferson Street because they will be then signaled for a protected condition there, just an improvement to the overall flow of traffic in those two intersections. And then lastly, as Thaddeus mentioned before, Mr. Wiggins had the question about, we'll go back and reevaluate the function of the intersection of Garden and Palafox after a period of 3 to 6 months. So once we had a chance for this driver modification to kind of take effect. And then if DOT is agreeable to that, we'll pursue the option to allow traffic northbound at Palafox.